I struggled making this video, sharing this video. I sat on it, have sat on it for months for so many reasons. You see, it doesn't really matter which camera you choose these days. FRENEMY Volume 2. This was shot on red Monstro VistaVision. This was shot on the Canon C500 Mark II. This was shot on the Sony FX6. This was shot on the Sony a7S III. This was shot on the red Gemini. This was shot on the Canon C70. This was shot on the Canon 1DX Mark III. This was shot on the Canon EOS R5. I want to be transparent with you and let you know that I've struggled in making this video and releasing this video. I've sat on the footage for months because what we're seeing in this video is just one little tiny percentage of what actually matters. Yes, we all love to talk about gear. And camera is part of that, right? We all like to compare. We all like to think that the decisions that we make on which gear we choose was the right decision because it requires a financial investment. But the camera is only one part of this giant puzzle that makes things either work or not work. And yes, that's an investment, but it's such a smaller investment in comparison to everything else that matters. You see, you need to work out a camera, that's true, but you also need to work out which lens you're going to put on that camera, what your audio is going to be, how are you going to light it. And once you sort out all the different pieces of gear that are needed, you're still only a percentage of the way there to be able to be a good filmmaker, a good storyteller, and understand your craft. But all this gear talk is actually forgetting about the most important piece, and that is the skill set. The skills in understanding composition, understanding storytelling, understanding how to read and interpret a script so that you can effectively turn those words into something visual for you or for your clients. But here's one thing, gear aside, let's say you've sorted it all out. You have the right lights, you have the right camera, you have the right lenses, you have the right audio solution, you have the right support system. You got that down. All the gear in the world, all the YouTube tutorials that you could watch, all the going to college to learn how to be a filmmaker, and so on. None of that, nothing can replace experience. And you can only gain experience by doing. And that doing and doing over and sorting out scenarios and working out complex light setups or complex lens choices or different pieces of production on a continuous basis is what allow us to work out that creative muscle that I'm going to call filmmaking. Being a filmmaker is really about solving situations and leveraging what gear can offer to get us to tell our story. So what I'm really saying here is that while it's awesome to talk about gear and it's great to pixel peep because I'm guilty of that, I love to do it, working on building our skills is equally or more important. And on top of that, working on building our relationships with other people allow us to take their knowledge, their experience, what they bring to the team and help us continue to learn. Because filmmaking is not something that you slap a title on, or you go to school and you watch a tutorial and you're done with it, or you buy all the gear that you need and now you're a filmmaker. I'll say this, being a filmmaker requires a long-term commitment to continue to learn and evolve. And that, I hope, is the takeaway out of today's video.